What are you doing? Hi guys, it's Crystal, and today we are going to the pumpkin patch with some pumpkin patch fun nails. I love these. To start this mani off, I'm using my Ready for Takeoff peel off base coat. You see this on almost every video. I feel like I almost don't even need to show this part anymore. I can just be like, hey, peel off base coat, let's go. But I'm still going to show it because not everyone who watches the video is going to be a long time subscriber. So may as well clue everyone in. For my base color, I'm using Mythical from Picture Polish. This is a really, really, really beautiful purple. I was really torn between getting this and another purple. They're Novo, I can't pronounce it. I think it's pronounced Novu. So I couldn't decide on which purple I wanted, and I ended up buying both of them just because. But I really love this. I did not expect to love it as much as I ended up actually loving it, because it wasn't a hollow, it's more of like a glitter sparkle polish. And I was like, I don't know if I'll like it when it gets here. But I really do. And it fit in so perfectly with this mani that I can't even, okay? To protect my cuticles, I'm using my Simply Peel from Bliss Kiss. This bottle is almost empty. I think I keep mentioning that in every video, but it's on its last leg. It needs hospice care. It's going out, okay? It is almost done. It started drying up, and I don't know what I did to make it dry up because my last bottle didn't start drying up, but this one is. It's okay though, because I have other cuticle protectors. For the stamping plate, we're using the 4 Seasons Autumn 1 plate from Lina Nail Art Supplies. And for my stamping polish, I am of course using Vibin from Twinkled-T, which was recently restocked. Yay, because I needed a few more bottles. And my extra large clear stamper from Twinkled-T, because we're reverse stamping, and this is my favorite stamper to reverse stamp. The fact that it is completely clear and see-through is a godsend. I'm not even playing. You can actually save 10% off all Twinkled-T products with the code SERIOUSLY. And I have links in the description box to everything I'm using. Next, to fill in the image, I'm using my crystal dotting tools from Twinkled-T. And I'm going to start with Autumn from Picture Polish, which is this really beautiful orange. Filling in these images, I used both this large, really, really fat dotting tool end, and then I used my other dotting tool for the thinner one to fill in the leaves and the stems. I had to be really careful with this design because the first time I did it, I messed up the nail I think 3 times. I kept going and putting the polish on, and I would press it down, and the little fine lines of the pumpkins would smudge into the orange polish. This is a really common mistake people make when reverse stamping, and it's something that when I'm in a rush, I'm prone to doing. You have to be really gentle when you are filling in the colors. A lot of stamping polishes will smear with other polish formulas. It's just something about them. Stamping polishes aren't formulated the same as most regular polishes, because if they were, they wouldn't pick up and stamp. So if you apply too much pressure, you're going to smear the design, you're going to pull up the edges. You just have to gently go in, and that's why you'll see on the tip of my dotting tool that there's kind of a blob of polish. And that's because part of that blob's going on there, and then I take the rest and I wipe it off on a makeup sponge sitting at the side, dip it in, get another bit of polish, and then keep coloring in, and just keep repeating that process over and over and over until I have my images done. On more intricate images, I will have 2 or 3 makeup sponges covered in all the leftover polish I wiped off, because I didn't want any dry polish. If you have dried polish on your dotting tool, it'll also stick to other polish and pick it up. It's just a technique that you really have to practice at. It has taken me a really long time to get very good at reverse stamping. It honestly has. You can see I finished my pumpkins, and for my leaves and my stems, I'm using Hercynia, which is also from Picture Polish. And here you can see I've switched to the smaller dotting tool tip. I love this 3 set of dotting tools from Twinkled-T. Honestly, I have never needed to do design and not had one that worked. And actually, no, that's not true. I think I did have one design where the smallest one was still not vibing right with it. And I think I may have used my Twinkled-T water marbling tool at that point because it was slightly smaller. But these are perfect. I am not a fan of using brushes to color in my designs. I feel the brushes, the bristles catch on the stamping polish too much and I just make too many mistakes. And doing it with a dotting tool has cut down so much on having to redo a nail, having to redo half the coloring because I got part of the way through it and then I smudged one thing. It has been a godsend. Like, this is all stuff that I prefer to do. Everyone has their own method and their own technique, and if you want to really master it, all you have to do is sit and try things and practice, and you'll get better at it eventually. I mean, if you look at my first tutorials on this channel versus the ones I put out now, you can see that I was a hot train wreck when I started making videos for YouTube. But I've slowly grown and learned and developed my own like little tricks and tips to make things work. And everyone does that. I mean, reverse stamping is just one of my favorite things. I love it. And there's so much you can do. There's so many different ways you can use the same design and just reverse stamp and do so much with it. So much. These leaves were actually pretty easy to color in with this small tip. Initially, I thought that I might like stick a big blob of green in the middle and then just pull it out with the smaller tip, but I decided to use the smaller tip the whole time I colored the leaves because it was just going to lead to less leaking outside and less, you know, risk of running over and messing up the design. I love this design though. This is super cute. When I finish coloring it in, I flip it over. I always do this when I reverse stamp, and I make sure everything's filled in, there's no gaps, no holes, and it's all completely opaque. Then I'm going to grab my Marvel Liquid Macro Top Coat from Superchic Lacquer. You can also save 10% off with my code SERIOUSLY at Superchic Lacquer. And I'm putting this top coat on a makeup sponge. This is how I keep from smearing my stamping when I put it down. I take this on the makeup sponge and I just dab it on until I've got a nice tacky layer there, and then I give it a second and then I stamp on it. This makes it not super wet, not super dry. Your image will go on very smoothly and you don't end up smushing down onto like a really wet spot and having polish smear, and then you have to redo the whole thing. As you can see here, my pumpkin right there was sticking up a little. I had to dab it down, give it a little help. Once I'm done with the stamp part, I'm going to the cutting. I'm going to use my stainless steel cuticle pusher from Twinkled-T to kind of go around the cuticle and try to cleanly cut off any of the larger bits of the little reverse stamp design. Doing this makes it so much easier to clean up with my cleanup brush because I don't have as much polish that's going to possibly flood my cuticle and make a mess. I don't like flooding my cuticles when I'm cleaning up my designs because sometimes the polishes will stain and then I feel like my photos don't come out as pretty and I'll be frustrated because my cuticle is a different color for a week and it makes me a little crazy. Once I've done that with the cuticle pusher, I do like to come in with tweezers, and these designs on the very edge of the nail, I just pull straight down against the nail so that it pulls that excess bit off, and then the nail is just, the design's still there, but it pulls the excess off without smearing or tearing it up. For my cleanup, I'm doing it off camera as usual with my number 2 cleanup brush from Twinkled-T, which leaves me with beautiful pumpkins. This is so pretty. This is definitely one of my top faves of all the designs I've filmed so far. And they haven't all posted, so that's saying something. As I edit the others, I don't think I'm going to suddenly love any of them more than this, because actually I've gone through all the footage for the others, and this one is still standing out as a favorite. But I do have a few more designs I want to film, and some stuff I might post on Instagram but not do full videos on, because I think they'll just fit to be mini tutorials instead of full videos. Anyways, I hope you love this. I really love this design and I was super excited to edit this one and get it out here and share it. And all the items, like always, are linked in the description box. If you have any questions about reverse stamping or anything else, always leave them in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, give it a huge thumbs up and hit the subscribe button for more fun stuff. tutorials, some more seriously Halloween, a giveaway coming up, and I will see you guys next time.